How's it going? Today, I make a 2D platformer shooter in 6 hours. Here's how I did it. I started by making a cube. Yes, the pinnacle of game technology. I just need to add some movement logic to traverse the level. And okay, it's got some Flappy Bird jumps. This was an easy fix. I just made it so you can only jump if you're touching a floor or a platform first. This also made it so you could climb walls. I thought this was a cool mechanic, so I left it in. This would also make it easier to move around the level for a mechanic I add later in the video. Okay, so we can move, jump, and climb, but now we need a weapon to fight off the enemy. So I added a cube, extruded it to make a Mega Man style blaster. I found it was tricky to make the blaster aim where I wanted it to, so I just ended up adding a sphere empty and parented the blaster to it. Then I used a mouse node to aim around the player. The blaster now needed to shoot a projectile. So I just made a cube that had an always tap sensor and a force that would push the projectile. Now we need an enemy to fight. I add another cube, this time I made it red, as you do in all high budget games. Now for the hard part, that is making the enemy AI. I used a steering node for the enemy targeting, but now it just follows on the floor. So I added a random property that would tell the enemy to jump. This allows it to follow you around the map. And it works perfectly. Well, maybe there's a few adjustments to do. For the enemy shooting mechanics, I used an edit object node to target the player and a radar node to tell the enemy when it is in range of the player. And oh my goodness! So I used an always to limit the enemy fire rate. The health bars are pretty simple. I made a new scene and started modeling a health bar using a plane. Then, using the vertex paint, I was able to add some texture so it didn't look so flat. Then I animated from frame 100 to 0 to deplete the health bar when the player is hit. I also did the same thing for the stamina bar. I'm not sure why, but Blender kept crashing over and over again. So if there's a couple of pieces missing, that's why. Now, the enemy needs a health bar. I made a boss style health bar at the top of the screen that used the same concept from the player, but made both ends merge into the center. I used a message to connect the main scene, player, and the UI scene. For the menus, I made 3 different types of screens. The main start screen, the you win screen, and a game over screen. The logic for them is pretty simple, just using some scene changes to load and swap them. Now I just slapped some final touches like shadows and post-processing on top, and the game was finished. Well, if you enjoyed the video, think about leaving a like and subscribing. I always end up making a video every once in a while. So, if you want to, check out some of my other content as well. Thank you, and take care.